From the ashes of a broken Dominaria, life begins to stir once more. First, plants retake the lands. Then come the animals. Lastly, out of a deep cavern under the once mighty Mount Kintara, man. The sole survivors from the great extinction that came from them millions of years ago. Now, they are here to rebuild. And welcome to a new series. This series will take place over 12 episodes, and each episode a new person will be introduced. Each person will take the reins and build on to this current world. Now, let's get it started off, shall we? The new nation of Arcadia has just formed. People rising up from the caverns that once existed before them. Nobody knows what happened to cause everybody to go underground, but some theories can still be spread. Arcadia's main goal right now is to expand. They don't have much to do other than expand. So, they slowly do. Taking over province by province, naming new cities, everything new. But originally they were going to focus their expansion on the west, but they just cut off all funding and started heading eastward. Eventually they fortify the city of Dakani, the new capital of the entire world at this point. Settlers from the west are angered as they see no support from the government at all. Troops are still recruited, but for what purpose? Eventually, the farmers can't take it anymore. The nation of Porstia rebels from Arcadia, swiftly taking down some troops and trying to fight for their freedom. The city of Postia continues to expand, attacking Arcadia as their troops have nowhere to go. Eventually, though, they are beaten, but not defeated. For some reason, the Arcadian king decides to make peace with them in order to expand, in which quickly Postia takes over local provinces, trying to match to the size of Arcadia. The people in Arcadia continue to expand, as well as Porstia, circling around this freshwater lake, but can't go too much past it, as there's an expansive desert above them. Instead, Arcadia begins to head southward, finding rivers and smaller lakes not shown. Porstia takes this as a threat and tries to copy their move, heading southward as well. The two nations have a rivalry, even though they don't know what of. They're both humans. They both originated from the same place. It's only been 2 years. Yet, they have so much dirt on each other, so many things they hate. It makes no sense. After a few years, they come to an agreement. They choose to split the land 50-50 up and down, vertically. Anything east of the line goes to Arcadia. Anything west of it goes to Porstia. They take their time, slowly gathering troops. Arcadia continues to expand in all directions faster than Porstia can. Eventually, a subsect of Arcadia in the north cuts off, declaring that Arcadia does not care enough about the people in the frontiers. Arcadia indeed doesn't care, and instead just continues expanding southward, trying to match the move of Porstia. Portia wraps around the freshwater lake like a snake, trying to use it somehow more than any other neighbor of it could. They also wrap themselves around the other local lake, trying to assert dominance over the region, as they become almost equal in power to Arcadia. Slowly but surely, the Hydran Commonwealth expands north, taking over vast land and bordering the biggest freshwater lake there is on this planet that can be offered. Other nations become jealous, and eventually Arcadia decides to declare war on the Hydran Commonwealth. The Hydrans had suspected this would happen, and immediately began attacking. And in the south, partisans under a group known as the Zodlitz breaks off from a nearby tropical coastal climate. All hell breaks loose for Arcadia as they're slowly getting picked apart. And eventually, the hammer comes down as Porcia declares war on Arcadia. During these war times, two separate culture groups form. The Arcadian culture, mainly focused around the areas Arcadia originally formed in and its subsectors. And then there is Lawson, a division of anti-Arcadianism, focused solely on doing the opposite of whatever the Arcadians declare. Eventually, a new troop type is developed by both sides. Spearmen. Even during the war, the Zlotslits continue expanding south, founding one of the first food cities of the east. Arcadia manages to found a colony off the coast of the Hydran Commonwealth, but it is unstable for them to maintain it. In Porcia, people from the south are slowly converting to Arcadian. Though unknown how, one of their coastal cities eventually rebels. the nation of Dior is born, comprising of their entire southern coastal frontier. It is a massive war with multiple sides, but eventually Dior comes to a compromise with Forcia, and the Slotswoods also end their conflict with Arcadia, gaining a few cities in the process that are mainly comprised of forestry anyway, which currently is seen as unvaluable. But this gives Arcadia time to turn their attention northward to Forcia and the Hydran Commonwealth. During this time, the Hydrans have also been trying to expand out of the eternal desert they have themselves locked in, but it is futile. After years of grueling conflict, the capital of Forcia is finally taken, but troops are quickly advancing. Arcadia keeps expanding until Forcia locks itself into a civil war. Dior itself attempts to go around Forcia, not wanting to get involved in this internal conflicts. Arcadia then goes to peace with Forcia, recognizing that it is an unfair advantage they have. It is now just a one-on-one, the Hydrans versus the Arcadians. They are very close in power, and anything could happen to turn the tide of the war. Eventually, though, a group of Hydrans in the north split off, continuing to go northward, not wanting to cause any conflict. But the absolutists of the Hydrans decide to follow them, attempting to kill them. This causes the nation of Polica to be born, already at war with the Hydrans. In the south, the city of Lugan is fortified, but is quickly taken. The slow-moving troops of Arcadia that did not have any experience beforehand are being tossed around by the Hydrans. Slotswoods itself has finally encompassed the entire peninsula, cementing itself as a power in the world when it was just one city a few years back. Forcia finally comes to a compromise with its successor, Quercion. Quercion will take the majority of Forcia's land, though it gets to keep some of its major cities. They then also move their capital to Sane, more central and more closer to where they want to expand, northwest. The The Hydran-Arcadian War rages on as as high as Arcadia makes a base off the coast. During the midst of this, two cities rebel because of the war, making it harder for the Hydrans to deal with any of it. The city of Copetus uses its surprise strength to attack the Hydrans, taking some of their easternmost colonies. Eventually, the Hydran Commonwealth surrenders to both of its adversaries, letting them split up some of their land. Julian, the newly formed nation, takes a bunch of the coastal area, as Arcadia wants to cement itself as a new power in the world. A few years pass of stability, Kherson being the only nation to expand. Slowly, steadily. Eventually, though, Arcadia finds its new rival. Border clashes are imminent, but Dior comes to its side. Arcadia and Dior officially ally, and soon Julian also joins. They all want to work together to own the world. Dior slowly expands itself westward, trying to match the move of Kherson, who slowly crests over the plains ridges below the great deserts. But some of these regions are too far for the small state of Dior down here to manage. And eventually, the state breaks off. Small region between Dior and Kherson is created as they rebel, but they don't know who they're messing with. The entirety of Arcadia is on their way. How long can they hold? This distracts the Arcadian military long enough for Julian and the Hydran Commonwealth to make a surprise attack on the Arcadian Dior alliance. Julian was using them as a ploy, trying to go stronger until they eventually were ready. The current state of the world is bleak as they head into the first actual battles. Dior has crushed the rebellion and is now sending troops to help Arcadia, but Julician was prepared. Their spearman has somehow crossed the water into the Arcadian defenses on the island, already prepared. The war is long and arduous, and in the meantime, Kersion has been expanding. And Dior has been completely cut off, as Kersion has taken the remainder of the free land in the west. Many of it is hospitable. Apologies for that, anybody watching the full version. It's gonna be a few seconds. In the south, Zlazos has finally made a landing on a foreign land. New city Ashima is founded as they slowly expand over its northern coast, not worried a single bit about what's going on to the north of them. Eventually they make this their new base of operations. A small island between the two continents as the capital. They cannot trust any of their northern neighbors, as they become too war-weary. A group of people from Kersion and Hydron have both had the same idea for a while now. Heading to this spot up here, which has been charted, yet not colonized. A new state of Jorkiva is founded, as people from both sides move in together to the city of Shalsk. It expands slowly but surely, trying to mirror the way Kersion expands. But the war in Arcadia still rages on. The Hydran Commonwealth can barely expand, and eventually it becomes too much. A rebellion in the north springs up and takes advantage of the situation, quickly encompassing all the fertile land in the Hydran Commonwealth. Kersion attempts to expand as well, but something is stopping them. Unrest has been growing in their regions in the far west for a while now. And eventually, Dior decides to fund a mass rebellion. In the nearby city of Athkov, a massive rebellion springs up, the Yunnan Rebellion. It quickly encompasses almost all of Kersion's western holdings. And Kersion is forced to deal with it, as they do not want to join the massive world war. The Hydran Commonwealth is slowly losing, but so is Arcadia. Who will be the one to collapse first? Finally, in the west, to end things off, Kersion has finally expanded north enough, as well as Yunnan, to both touch Jorkiva. Now, I think this is a good spot to end this off at. I'm sorry if this isn't up to any expectations. It was the first time doing something like this, but I hope you had fun watching. The next person up is Owen, and he will influence the world from there. See you next time.